Greetings, all Shard Vixen here. Alright, so I did have my table cleaned off. And this is organized chaos. I know, it doesn't look like it, but it does. So today we're going to talk about glue, which I set out some of my glue. I didn't set out all my glue. So the thing about junk journaling, which we are on Junk Journal Journey 13. This is just going to be one about glue because glue really doesn't take up a whole lot of time. I mean, more is talking about glue. So if you're making a homemade junk journal and it's just for you and that's it, then you're not going to get into really elaborate glue. Probably just a basic Elmer's white glue is going to be fine. If you want to add fabric, though, I would just switch and take the time and money to buy this. Though if you want to add fabric, you don't have to use the glue. You could use a fine thread, like an embroidery thread, or even a regular sewing thread and needle, and sew your stuff into your journal. I pick up glue to try different types. My favorite glue so far probably is this one, the Scotch Side Crafts glue stick. This one is probably my favorite to use for putting small pieces down, and then this one or the Elmer's glue, or this one over here. We're gonna take a walk. The clear glue. I really like the clear glue because you can. Here's an example of it. You can make You can make the glue and add like paint to it. This one has green acrylic paint in it. Mix it up really, really well. And then when you go to use it to make papers and stuff, or to just, because you would use the clear glue or the white glue, you can add color to the white glue too. And you make fake vellum with it, rice paper, all kinds of stuff, fabric paper, all that stuff. And with napkins and things. And this works really well mixing it. This one right here, mixing it with paint. So I use that. I buy it in big things as well when I see it on sale. So I can put it back into the smaller ones. This one was suggested, which is another Scotch. But I don't like this one as much. It's a clear glue though. And it has 2 tips on it. So here's the thing that I found out about glue, and this is just my opinion about glue, okay, is you find the one you like, and then you just buy lots of it. When I first started out, because I had children, I have lots of these, see. I don't find that these work as well for it to stay stuck for a long time, which is why I tell people, whoever I make stuff for, these I buy at the dollar store whenever I find them, and then use them as you want because they're fabric glue. I have not used this particular brand yet, but I just pick them up and put them into my little pile here. Probably of the set, Elmer's is probably still the better of the glue for the just basic kids, what you would call kids glue sticks. This probably works the best. I have found that some of it will dry and then not stick as well, so that's a thing. If you want to do plastic on paper or paper on plastic, you're going to need a different type of glue. Gorilla Glue is the best glue for that. And the one that they sell one that's a spray. A lot of people just sew their plastic into their paper. So a popular thing, and I'll show you it when we talk about pockets, is using cereal liners. But cereal liners they have like a wax plastic component to them, so the glue doesn't stick well. So you need a stronger type of glue. And as far as I've found, Gorilla is the only one that makes a glue that's strong enough for it. And their spray glue is the best one for it. This I just bought because it was on sale and I thought I'd try it. I haven't tried it yet. I stick mostly to this. I have another really big, huge kid's school glove I use in Montana. That one works really well. I don't remember the brand of it. I seen somebody use it and thought, oh, I found it at Michael's and thought, oh, that'd be a great one. But let's go back to the idea that your junk journal is completely junk. So what kind of glue would you use? You could make paper mache glue, and it's really easy and not too fancy. You're going to want white flour, white wheat flour. You can use whole wheat flour, but you would want to sift it because it tends to be a little more grainy. And hot water. It doesn't have to be real hot. Warm water is fine. You're gonna put however much you're gonna make. So let's say 2 cups of flour. It's about almost two cups of water. You're kind of gonna mix it till you like the idea. Now you don't really want it as a paste, so you want to get it more liquidy, and so you got to mix it really, really well. And then you're going to use that, and you would take a brush and brush it on. So you take your paper, right? You brush it on one side, the side that's going to stick down, and then you brush it on the side that you're going to stick down. Then you stick it down. You might do the edges as well, and then again, you might just sew them in after you stick them. That's going to be up to you. Another thing you could get, I have a couple of them, are glue guns. I got this one. It was on sale. I had a gift certificate for Michael's, so I went and bought this. I have a lot of glue sticks that somebody gave me. That one's going to fit it. I have 2 more smaller ones, a medium size. If this is my large, I have a medium and then I have a small. Okay, so glue is a personal choice. Find the one you like and then use it. And just a side note, because it's kind of like glue, you can make with gelatin a sticky glue that goes on the back of homemade stickers. So say here's one. Say you cut out this picture of a butterfly. So this is a picture of a butterfly that I cut out. Then I can make that gelatin and brush it on the back and let it dry. And then what you do is you moisten it or lick it, and it'll work just like a sticker and stick it on there. And that's homemade as well. I mean, you can't make the gelatin homemade, but you can buy the powder for it. But there's a lot of things you can do. Do not feel overwhelmed when you're like, I got to buy all this stuff. You don't. You need to look what you got at home. You got white flour at home or wheat flour. You've got water. You can make a glue. If you want to use tape, you can use tape in your journals. There's nothing that says you can't use tape in your journals. You want to sew your journals. There's a lot of people that sew their stuff in. Treasure Books over on YouTube is a good person to watch. She does a lot of sewing into her thing. Also, a note that I wanted to say, and this one's a little long, is do not be overwhelmed by the stuff in my art studio. I am a mixed media artist. I don't just make journals. I paint all kinds of acrylic and watercolor. I don't do oil because you need a well-ventilated area. I would like to do spray painting, but again, a well area. I make candles. I do tie-dye. I do all kinds of stuff. So that's why you see a lot of stuff here. Some of it's just junk journal stuff, but some of it is for my other crafts. So don't go, oh my God, I got to get all this stuff. You don't. You don't need to get all that stuff. I'll put together a kit when I'm done with my series to show you exactly everything you would possibly need, the bare minimal, to make a nice junk journal. I'm sure the numbers are just for me anyway. Today we're going to talk about that one thing I always have a hard time pronouncing, ephemera. So, I didn't know much about the name of things that you used for junk journaling when I started. Like I said, I learned in college to make stuff for kids because I was going to be working with kids. And I learned earlier than that for myself, but didn't know that there was an actual saying for the stuff that you collect to put into your said journal. So there is, and it's called ephemera. And ephemera, the actual meaning for it is things that exist that are used and enjoyed for a short time period and then discarded. And there is the Ephemera Society of America where they collect such things. But an example of what that means, what that would look like if in junk journaling, is this box here. So this box is a card box for cards, right? It's not meant to be saved. I'm saving it because it has, this is a nice spine right here, see? And then I'm going to make a smaller journal for it, right? And then it will go into another, originally I had already done a dragon journal, so if I do another one, this would go in it, or a fantasy one, or say somebody who just likes all kinds of things that are fantasy, so that would be this, though starting out, it would be the ephemera. These things here, which are logo types and lettering for various commercial things like cores and everything. So a poster made with this stuff would be ephemera. A lot of the vintage stuff that people collect, letters, postcards, all that stuff. Maybe somebody would save them, but for the most part, you know, envelopes would be ephemera. Is designed, sorry, I gotta pick some up. Oh my gosh. Is designed to be used and then tossed out. In fact, when I first started using envelopes, I used a lot of envelopes that were junk mailers, which is typical of people starting out in junk journaling. So, what we're going to be talking about is the various formats of ephemera. And those are the things that typically would have been used for one thing and then thrown away, and then you're now reusing them again. And in junk journaling, they use it as a broader term, as the stuff that you put together with, let's say, I don't have any right off the top of my head. Oh, like this. So, like this. So here's a bag that came, somebody sent me something in it, right? Here's a bag. So most people would recycle the bag now, or in the past would have tossed it out. It would have ended up in the garbage. Because that would make it the ephemera. I'm going to use it in a junk journal style. And you see how it already naturally folds, right? So I'm going to use it because I love the bag, but I'm going to cut off this gold part and I'm going to use it in a mixed media poster. So that would be ephemera. Here's another one. This came on a package that someone gave me. Just a piece of ribbon, right? The ones with the little wires in them, so they fold really well, right? You can even feel the wire in it. So I took it off and I saved it, and now I'm going to use it eventually in a journal. I have quite a few of those. The ones that come on the microfiber blankets here in the U.S., they have a nice long ribbon. Let's see if I can find it. That has a Velcro on both sides of it to hold the blanket in. I use those for, let me show you like this. See, I use those. You can use those for book bindings, to bind your books, right? And then, or I have another one, this white one here that came on this bunch of pajamas, I think. I'm going to paint it and use it in the journals that I'm going to be making soon. So, it's not necessarily now, it's to describe pieces of stuff that would have once been tossed out that are now being used in different ways. So, like, this is my scrapbook, scrap paper stuff. All this, like this one right here. So this would be considered, because it was going to be tossed out because it was damaged, this could be considered ephemera. To me, it's just a picture, but you know what I'm saying. So the next couple of videos are going to be talking about ways that you can use junk. I say that and you look out into my garage. You can use junk, or not junk, to be into your parts that are going to go into your junk journal. One of the things that you need to think about, though, about making junk journals is, remember I told you at the beginning, is the journal for you, or is the journal being made for someone else? If the journal is made for you, you're going to be building it and then decorating it to then decorate it again. So there's like a 3-stage part. If it's for somebody else, you're going to make it, not decorate it enough to be like a theme, you know, a little bit, but not enough that it really shows off your personality. It'll be left to show somebody else's personality, which is kind of why I'm trying to break this up in ways that make sense. And then we'll put a kit together, and then we'll build a junk journal. Really quick, I'm going to talk about some of the other creators that I watch on TikTok and YouTube. So on YouTube, I watch a person called Al_John. I'm not sure, I haven't seen lately what they're making, but they will show you step by step how to make junk journals of any sort. I followed hers for the lap book I did. If you go over to my YouTube channel, Wild Rhyme Times, no spaces, all small caps, and all the I's are Y. So it would be WYLD Rhyme HRHYME time TYME at YouTube, and I show my laptop there. But Al John shows you how to take it. I followed her steps completely. Okay, another person I love is Treasure Books and Bohemian Crafting. Both of them will show you how to make ephemera for days, and how to make junk journals, how to take anything and everything and make it into a junk journal, and stuff that is bought as well. And then the Paper Outpost. She is also, and if you sign up for her email, she will send you freebie stuff that you can download, digital kits that you can make into your ephemera. Okay, so that's on YouTube. On TikTok, I have to say, the best example I have found so far for junk journals, the style that I make, which is that where they look very homemade and they look temporary and you're only going to have fun with them and then maybe put them away and save them, would have to be Belinda, and that's small caps BPH Craft. She's wonderful. She does these things that they do on some of the YouTube channels where they take 1 month, they draw out a whole bunch of different ideas, and in a hat they write it down, put it in, and they draw out a whole bunch of ideas, and then each day you do one of those ideas in setting a different binding, all kinds of stuff. And I see that she's doing a giveaway. It might be too late, but you could check in and see if you could pick up some of her kits. Mainly MAINEL_journals. Now, she does what I would call more artsy journals, in that the ephemera is very much almost store-bought, like craftsman style. And that doesn't take away from Belinda's stuff, because each has its own beautifulness to it. It's a different style, so you might want to check that one out. She sells her books, so does Blessing and Books, and she makes these absolutely fabulous. They're made from old VHS containers, children's books, like that kind of journals. And they are the type of journal that you buy and write in and decorate in. So there's not as much ephemera in it. And then we have Word Addict. So Word Addict I watch Word Addict a lot to look for new pockets and new styles of things. She has just these fabulous styles of stuff. And so does Fate, Hope, Love Junk Journal. His are some of the craft stuff that he sells. Like, he sells the wax stamps, I don't know if you guys have seen that, where you make the wax and then you stamp it. He makes those out of resin. And then he also does decorating of a junk journal. And then to look at how people use ephemera, so the ones where they buy the journals, not necessarily make them to begin with, but they buy them from someone else or a company, and then they fill them up. And those would be Susie Scrapbooking. She also makes her own, too. So, but she does a lot of where she makes her own, and then she decorates them. And then that would also be Scrapbooking ASMR. I actually like her channel a lot. you're not going to get a lot of, it's not a tutorial. It's you watching them create an art piece. So that's really good. And Fate, Hope, Love, Junk Journal does the same thing. So I only wanted to throw those out, and the Rainbow Journal. I wanted to throw those out so that you could go and look at some various different ways that junk journaling is done. Which we'll probably go to 21 today. All right, so we're on Ephemera. Doing better at pronouncing that. So the thing about ephemera is what you use on your pages, in your signatures, to create pockets, belly bands, stoppers. I call them stoppers. I don't know what they call them, but it's where your page, like you put something right here, and it can be a pocket, but it also is kind of a way to just accent your page. I don't know how to explain it. I have to show it. Some things I just have to show you. I can't explain. Now we're going to take a trip down the dark part of my garage because I'm putting books away. You can use books to create ephemera, by the way, but these are my art books. So they are not... they're not really part of ephemera. But in these books are things to make for ephemera. So painting, stuff like that. Drawings. Because remember, ephemera can be anything. Anything. So now I've cleared this out. This roller is going to be taking all of my textural stuff that I use for painting, and I'm going to put it on here. Now, when I create a journal, as I have told you, I think about the subject that I'm going to be using. So in the case of the 2 journals that I'm coming up to get ready to make, I want green and red. So I've been collecting green and red stuff that have to do with dinosaurs. So I also have picked up books and other stuff for that. So the stuff that I will be using, some of it is ephemera. Some is not. Some of it is things that you buy or you make. So it doesn't really fit as ephemera. Because remember what the meaning of it is. And I go by meanings more often than just whatever we throw together and think that's what it is. So in the terminology of ephemera, it's going to be those things that were meant to be enjoyed and then tossed away. So posters, letters, some pictures, things like kids' books, though I'm pretty sure kids' books originally you were going to keep them, but drawings, packaging, stuff like this. Remember we talked about paper. Some of this paper here it's meant to be used like this here. This is from candy wrappers, inside the candy thing. So this paper right here would be considered, like See's candy here in America. Cadbury candy in England, I guess. I don't know if they do box candy. But so you have this really cool silver paper, right? It was meant to be tossed out, not used. So it's not the same type of ephemera because ephemera, there are collectors for it. So the collectors of ephemera would use this stuff here. They actually made a book of it. Vintage Christmas, Victorian Christmas. So in this would be a lot of ads, cards, things like that have all been put together, see? And then made into ephemera, see? That's Marcus Ward's Christmas. And then this was put into a book, which someday may get chopped up and used as a journal. I don't know. I am moving the books, though. I'm moving all this stuff here, except for the paper that I just put there, over into this one. And then some of this is going someplace else. So I have to rearrange. Some of it's going there. I have to rearrange it so I can get into my stuff. So when we think about building ephemera, you can also use stickers. Stickers could be considered ephemera. I would think, though, in a junk journal, a sticker would be one that had been used already, and then you cut it off of the paper it had been used on and then put into your junk journal. This right here, like this is from a calendar, and I cut the picture out of the calendar. Calendars are totally meant to be used for the year and then tossed out. And I know I keep saying that over, but it's kind of an interesting thing that we need to think about, because like wrapping paper, when we're building junk journals, again, remember I was talking about how much of it is junk. So ephemera is really for junk journals. You can do scrapbooking and have stuff that's made for scrapbooking. You can buy, like I have, pre-made stickers instead of making my own, or cutting them out and making them into stickers. You can have all that stuff. This is just my opinion. I'm just telling you how my brain works and how I see this and how I create things from that. So I buy stuff to create for your ephemera. Now, that being said, we're going to create other things that are going to be made into other things, into junk journals. So that too is considered a ephemera under the junk journaling concept of it. All right, that's it. Really weird ramble, sorry. And I'm thinking ephemera is done. This is a ephemera that's pre-made. Okay, so there's a good example of it. I was trying to think of some I had that was good. I have lots that's sold that way. So here's an ephemera. I got this at the thrift store. Right. The whole intent for this to be used is in your creation. That's it. There's another one. These are little pieces of cardboard, which I'm not sure how I'm going to use them, because they're heavy. So they're definitely just for decoration. I mean, they wouldn't make really great journaling cards. They're not very big. I mean, you could for something small, I guess, because people make small journaling cards. But what you put in your journals is kind of based on you, really, or the person you're making it for. So, all right, I'm out of here. Peace.